In a heated moment that sent shockwaves through the room, Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro didn't just ask questions, she demanded answers. At a critical hearing on U.S. submarine production, she took Secretary Hegseth and the Pentagon to task for vague responses, lack of transparency, and a disturbing absence of concrete plans for submarine production. Submarines are not just another military asset, they are a cornerstone of national security, and yet the Pentagon couldn't offer solid numbers or a clear strategy to ensure the U.S. remains ahead of adversaries.
Thanks. Gentlemen, Ms. DeLauro.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to focus, Mr. Secretary, my question on submarines and our national security, our military shipbuilding, and as I said specifically, submarines, critical investment for national security and for the economy of my home state of Connecticut. This is a yes or no question, Mr. Secretary. Do you agree that continued investment in the Department of Defense in submarine production is in fact critical to the United States national security and military readiness?
Very critical.
Okay, so yes, thank you, and we agree. They'll continue to be a critical asset to deter adversaries, sustain the advantage we have in undersea domain, and the Defense Department should continue to support these programs. What is the status of the Department's investments in submarine programs?
14% increase in FY26 on the Columbia, and a substantial increase in the Virginia as well. So we're ensuring a submarine industrial base that has been left behind, that has been neglected, is fully invested.
We
to
have
make sure
funded
we're
the
speeding
submarine
up on
base
funding
here.
the submarines.
More than half, and you can go back to last December, but I want to move on. Do you know where our submarine production currently stands, and whether current production is sufficient to bridge the gap between current fleet size and projected need?
There is a gap, but we believe we are closing it, ma'am. Yes.
And if you can get to us the information about how, in fact, that you can close that gap, because we do not have any information or data that can substantiate what you're saying. Your department's initial budget proposal includes incremental funding for the Columbia-class submarine. Is that going to raise alarm bells across the defense industrial base by signaling a lack of commitment to the program?
No, we could not, ma'am. We could not be more committed to Columbia. The centrality in the triad, ensuring it delivers on time, it's central to the deterrent and the base of the United States. So
do you know how much of a financial hole this will create for the defense industrial base? Will there be a financial hole for the defense industrial base in 2026?
Certainly not based on our projections. There is not a hole. We're investing in Columbia robustly.
Okay, without numbers, it's my understanding the department is planning to move $3.1 billion for the Columbia class from 2026 and spread it over 2027 and 2028. This creates a serious problem for industry in the short term and hampers shipbuilders' ability to reach an adequate production rate. Have you been in contact with Electric Boat or with Huntington Ingalls about your plans?
Almost every day, our Deputy Secretary of Defense, alongside our Secretary of the Navy, are actively engaged with all of our shipbuilders and shipyards to make sure their needs not only are being met, but their shortfalls are being addressed so that we can close that gap in real time, which has existed.
So that you can really lay out for us the information and what we would like to get, what this committee needs to take a look at, because I know you believe that submarines are important, as I do, but getting the specific information about where we stand, what the production rate is, what gaps there may be. We're willing to listen to all of that because, in fact, in contrast to what your earlier statement was, we have, in fact, supported mightily the submarine industrial base from this committee. That has not been neglected. Do you have a plan for making the investments necessary to ramp up submarine production to the necessary elections? I would just tell you, as part of the December continuing resolution, Congress included $5.7 billion for the department to put out to put on contract for 2 additional Block 4 and 1 Block 5 Virginia-class submarines. The Navy advised members that these funds were required to be placed on contract by February of 2025, yet the department did not put funding for the 2 additional Block 4 boats on contract until April 30th. So do we have a plan, do you have a plan for making the necessary investments to ramp up submarine production to the necessary levels? And what is that plan?
Ma'am, first of all, I want to thank this committee for the flexibility alongside FY25 and the continued resolution.
Well, I would hope you would thank this committee for the funding that it had made. We have made a serious investment. So your first statement is inaccurate. We have focused squarely on submarines, and we now want to know where that is going and what your plan is for the continued advancements to meet production levels and make sure that that is an area that's covered for our national security.
Ma'am, I fully acknowledge the investment this committee has made in shipbuilding, and the challenge is our department under the previous administration squandered a lot of that by
Please,
not investing
I want your plan. I've had difficulties with the prior administration, and I don't mind calling them out. What is your plan for the future? Can we get that in writing and on paper so that we know where you're going? Because we don't have anything today. We have zip, nada, and knowing where you're going. You could talk percentages, you can talk about whatever you want, but unless this committee sees dollars and cents and where you're going and what your plan is, then we may reconsider what you need to do to go forward. Give us the details.
Congresswoman, we have the details and we will provide them
Then let's
for you.
have them before we, and my hope is that we could get to it before we go to a markup within a few hours here today. I yield back my time, Mr. Chair.
Gentlelady yields back her time. The Dean of the House, Chairman Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, gentlemen and lady.
From the moment DeLauro took the floor, it was clear she wasn't there for political spin. She came armed with facts and an unrelenting focus on one thing: accountability. DeLauro asked basic yet crucial questions. Where does our submarine production currently stand? What's the plan to close the gap between fleet size and the growing need? And perhaps most importantly, why doesn't the Pentagon have a clear answer? Despite claims of increased funding and progress, DeLauro pointed out that the Department of Defense hadn't provided any clear data to support these claims. She demanded specifics on how they plan to ramp up production in the face of an urgent national security need. The Pentagon's response: a lot of talk, but not enough action. While Secretary Hegseth claimed there was no financial hole in the program, DeLauro pushed back hard. Where were the numbers? Where was the detailed plan? It wasn't enough to talk about percentages or vague commitments. DeLauro made it clear that without hard data, the Pentagon was asking Congress to blindly trust them, something that was no longer an option. Instead of offering clarity, Hegseth tried to deflect, referencing the last administration's failures and vague claims about future investment. But DeLauro wasn't having it. She cut through the spin, demanding that the Pentagon lay out a real plan, and fast. Why is all of this so critical? Submarine production isn't just about building machines, it's about maintaining a key pillar of U.S. military readiness. Submarines are at the heart of the U.S. nuclear triad, providing stealth and deterrence capabilities that are unmatched. They are the silent guardians of our national security. Delays in submarine production don't just mean missed deadlines. They mean a growing vulnerability in the face of rising threats from China and Russia, both of whom are heavily investing in their own undersea capabilities. The U.S. cannot afford to fall behind in this critical area, yet the Pentagon's failure to provide clear, actionable data puts our security at risk. But it's not just about national security. There are real, tangible financial implications to the Pentagon's lack of planning. In 2026, $3.1 billion that was supposed to go toward the Columbia-class submarines was shifted out of the budget, creating a significant gap in funding. This move destabilizes the entire defense industrial base, making it harder for shipbuilders to plan, hire, and invest in the future. This financial uncertainty isn't just a problem for the Pentagon, it's a problem for working-class families in shipyards across Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Virginia. Thousands of jobs, families, and regional economies rely on the consistent, transparent investment in the defense industrial base, Without this, the entire system starts to crumble. At the heart of DeLauro's demands was her defense of Congress's constitutional duty, oversight. She wasn't just questioning the Pentagon's handling of funds, she was defending the role of the legislative branch in holding the executive accountable. If the Pentagon wants funding, DeLauro made it clear, they need to show a plan, and they need to show it now. No more vague answers, no more deflecting to past administrations. DeLauro called out the Pentagon for failing to provide the real numbers and data that Congress needs to make informed decisions, and if the Pentagon can't provide that, DeLauro warned, Congress may need to reconsider its support. This wasn't just a tense exchange, it was a moment of truth. DeLauro was standing up for the American people and demanding that the Pentagon be held accountable for its decisions. The stakes couldn't be higher. Submarine production is essential for U.S. national security. Without clear plans, hard numbers, and transparent communication, we risk undermining our defense capabilities at a time when global threats are growing. If you believe in the importance of accountability in government, if you want to see more moments like this, hit that like button, subscribe to Liberal Lens, and share this with someone who cares about where our defense dollars are going. Because the truth matters, and so does holding those in power accountable.